deep breath. What are you noticing now?
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
Once you have that first conversation, the second time that she brings this gossip thing up, then you can reference the conversation now. Hey, Sally, love you. Do you remember the conversation that we had the other day about the gossip thing? Yeah. You're doing it. You sharing with others that's authentic you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what we want to work on?
Yeah, I think I really want to work on that because I think we had put in our homework 2 conversations that needed to happen. I was really proud that they happened. A friend of mine who was in Chilliwack, it's a couple of friends, the ones that have actually met this need that we have. The wife is really, really like, they just like, when I was saying thank you to them over the last couple of days, they just said, we feel like you guys are worth investing into because we just feel like the limitation that's happened to then stop you in this space where you're tied. It says we just feel deep down in our hearts that if we invest into you, you'll go on to do greater good out there. Her words, I've got no message.
Wow. Okay.
So it really, really resonated in me. So when things like that happen, you start to think, am I not leaving? I want to be able, Robert, to live my authentic self, where I feel like I don't want to. I feel like I hold myself a lot. I'm more scared for people to find out, to say, I just want to be truthful and be in a place where I want to just be able to be the, I don't know if it makes sense.
So what's the fear here then? Sounds like there's a fear if people were to see this, what could happen?
I don't know, that probably I might let people down.
Yeah, letting people down.
Yeah, I might let people down if they but there's just those elements where I tend to find myself just going around and around, just thinking, I feel like something is holding me back, and at times I feel like I just get stuck and just think, okay, having a conversation, even in this space or with somebody else, you just think, or for example, the guy that I was overseeing this weekend, he's running a very successful business. He's come through my hands. I'm teaching him the skills about how to teach, how to co-facilitate a room and everything else. But again, the elements that keep on coming from where he's at, again, is just thinking, hi Ray, the reason why I'm doing this is because, I want to help people, and you almost like feel they're doing that with unrestrained, and they're able to go in and serve the communities, and and wake up in the morning and probably be able to go out and live. So a lot of it I kept on thinking this week, and this is because maybe my life is not yet structured, because maybe something is holding me back, so I can't just wake up and just thinking, what am I going to do today? I feel like I'm not in that space where I can just get up and be able to make those decisions right away. I want to be in a space where I wake up and make those decisions myself and know exactly what I can plan, and but at the moment I'm having to I think here it is. I feel like I'm having to depend on a lot of people. I think I have to depend on a lot of people to even as far as meet my daily needs, whereas I think I'm capable. Right? I think I'm capable, but I can just go out there and do what I need. I have to make a connection
Right.
and call. Hey, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? Whereas I want to be able, maybe not so much to have a space like this, but I want to be able for people to come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm able to say, okay, you're now in this space. These are the skills that I can give you.
Right.
And
Okay.
if the monetary benefit comes in the back of it, then great.
So it seems like this disparity between what you would like for yourself to see yourself, what maybe others see you as right now, and it's sort of this little bit of this dissonance here. Like so feeling like you have to depend on others at this moment in time, I guess is maybe a little disappointing for you. And there's a fear of disappointing others as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Does that activate this this like I'm not good enough that we've been working on before?
I think so.
Or something else?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's definitely, I can certainly pick up a negative charge out of it.
What is that? 0 to 10? 0 being neutral, 10 being the worst it could be? Not good enough.
I really want us to dig deep into it, so I'll go for a 10.
Is that how it feels right now though, in your body?
Yeah, I find myself maybe at the moment even trying to also use the tools to say, but you are good enough. But you are good enough, Ray.
Yeah.
You know, I'll say 5.
5.
Let's go for 5.
Okay.
Yeah, and see where we can.
Where do you feel the 5 in your body right now?
Yeah. The back of my head. Yeah.
Okay. And then
So it feels like there's a tension, things that are pulling at the head of my head.
Okay, pulling. What about emotion? What's the emotion that comes up when you think about that? And having to depend on others, be your authentic self, not good enough.
Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
Like fear, is it some disappointment, some shame?
Yeah.
It goes with that.
Yeah, fear, definitely. There's always shame that's attached to it. And for me, shame has become probably, if I think of the chart that you shared with me there, I think shame remains probably one of these emotions that I've realized that when it comes to me, it's ended up freezing. That's my trigger.
Yeah.
That's a real trigger where the moment I start to feel that creeping in, I feel like I need to stop. I can't keep on going, because if I do, you're gonna find out that, hey, this is not what the real deal is, so I might as well just avoid the situation altogether.
So what would you prefer to believe about yourself instead? Sharing your authentic self, even if you have to call somebody that sets things up. What do you want to believe about you?
I want to believe about me that I'm capable to be myself in the moment, and for people to see that it's okay to have my own flaws. It's as if I've never been comfortable sharing my own flaws, because probably I think I've overworked too much on the outward persona, and if that's what you see in the initial bit that you meet me, I feel like I need to maintain that. And then certainly around relationships. So
can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
So it sounds like with this belief, it would be something like, I can share my authentic self with others, and then like I'm capable and good enough regardless. Even if I have a bad day, I'm good enough regardless. I don't have to be perfect. Does that fit? Good enough, I'm capable and good enough regardless? How true does that feel right now? 1's false, 7's true.
I would say it's true. 7
feels like a 7 here?
It feels like a 7 here, because
fantastic.
I've actually had opportunities where I've said that, and it's come up with paying solutions. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, that's not a problem. Actually, yeah.
Okay.
Come, let's meet and I'll see you and we'll sort it out, right?
Okay.
So yeah.
So let's take a peek at the tension there that's in your head. So you're pulling, and the 5 that you had there. If you don't measure up to what people have expected, or that I'm not good enough. Let's just go with that. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
That's it. Okay. Deep breath. What are you noticing now?
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah. Okay, go with that. What's the worst that could happen? Deep breath. What comes up now?
You won't die. Yeah.
Yeah.
You won't die. Yeah, go ahead and just say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think stealing the words of my friend is nobody's holding a gun to your head. So whatever, I almost like whatever comes to your mind in the moment, yeah, just share it. Go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, go with that.
Yeah.
Deep breath. Okay, fantastic. So if you think about what we're working on here with you being your authentic self, even on bad days, what do you get now? What comes up?
And that's good. Even on bad days, I'm still good enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I tap on your knees?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
absolutely, yeah.
Just notice that. Notice how that feels. Even on bad days, I'm good enough regardless.
Yeah.
Deep breath. Okay, what comes up now?
Yeah. I feel that, even on those bad days, I'm good enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the negative charge here? What we're working on, and the words "I'm not good enough," zeros, neutral, no charge there at all. 10's the worst it could be. Where's it at now?
Neutral. It's almost like as we were it's almost like as we were doing this, I'm fucking. Yeah, there's a connection right there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So it feels okay to hold it with I'm good enough regardless, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm
Just
gonna
hold that
it in.
together.
Yeah.
And just go with that. I'm good enough regardless. Capable. Good enough regardless. All good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Deep breath. Yeah. What do you notice?
Yeah. Stay present.
Yes.
Yeah. Stay present, and I think most of the time what I feel like I need to do is, be intentional about every statement that comes out, right? And, just take time to think ahead. What does this day look like? Who am I seeing? Just that planning ahead, I think it's something that I've not been doing very, very well. Because again, it all comes if, the old adage says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? It's I think it's when things come in that you were not expecting, then you feel like you need to make up for disorganization, which is never good.
So maybe we picture what it would look like to be present, in those moments, and planning ahead at the same time, but being adaptable.
Yeah.
things don't work out, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? I'm good enough regardless.
Yeah.
Just think about what that looks like for you.
Just go ahead and probably start writing things down.
Okay.
Yeah, start writing this down. Plan ahead the night before, and wake up in the morning and follow it through. Right?
Okay.
Follow it through.
Lovely. Okay,
Yeah.
deep breath. Fantastic. Okay. So you think about this idea of, you sharing your authentic self. Sounds like at whatever stage in life you were in. Right? I think you can see yourself easily. Oh, you're way ahead and you're doing all the things like that. But on all the way, the journey to get to that point, you see yourself being your authentic self just always. I'm good enough regardless. How true does that feel right now? 1 is false, not true. 7 feels all the way true.
In this moment, I say all the way true.
Cool.
I think I just feel like I need the opportunity to be able to prove that not only to somebody else, but just to be able to either exemplify it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm trying to think in my mind, just to say. When those moments, I think that I can only confront it if I was able to just absolutely hit that and just turn one way and just think, no, that's not who I am. I am going to, go ahead and be authentic in this moment.
Well, can you think about times already in the last week or two that you have been doing that? You were authentic even when life threw you a curveball and you just dealt with it and you were being yourself.
Funny you should say that. Even this morning, I texted my old HR boss.
Okay.
From the previous company.
Okay.
And I've booked an appointment with her for next Friday.
Wow.
I texted her a couple of days ago because I felt in the moment that when I left, my career path and choice right now, she started it in terms of training.
Wow.
So I felt like I needed just to reach out to it. It's just a name that came through, and I felt like I needed to reach out to it, just say, I just wanted to say thank you, because I know I left like a dog, but it seemed as if I had not even gone as far as that. So this is manager number 2, by the way.
Yeah.
And the moment I said that, so which Raymond is this? I said, is it Raymond? I said, yes, it's Raymond. He says, I'd always wondered where you had gone. He says, but, I could probably try and think, not quote unquote, but, she said, at times, things need to happen to us so they can put us into the direct path of the things that we really want to do. So when she said that, I was like, whoa.
Go with that. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. Deep breath. So sounds like to me, you're trusting this intuition or this sense of I just feel like I got to do this, and you acted on it.
And
right.
Follow
well
it
done.
through, and she said, not long after. So she said, now she left in January.
Wow.
So she said, and she reached out to me. Says, I think we should meet. So I think that was very important for me, because this was a director who.
Yeah.
Prior to me leaving, I had said, hey, we need to talk. A lot of my fear-based decisions that I was making at the time, they might not have probably not helped me as a person, but what that made me realize in the moment, hearing those words, she is the one who was telling me, no, I am good enough. He said, I'm happy that you're still working with people because you're really good at it, right? I was like...
Where do you feel that in your body?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Notice that. Good enough. I'm very capable regardless. I'm good enough regardless. All of that. Beautiful. Yeah. Good. Okay, deep breath. So you think about what we started on with this target and the words, I'm good enough regardless, I'm capable regardless, close your eyes, scan your body head to toe. Just notice if there's any negative tension that pops up anywhere, if it feels clear.
No, I think we're good. Yeah.
I think so too. Any other areas in your life where you think you'd want to see yourself being authentic?
My children, at this stage of my parenting life, I think that's the next one. I've certainly thought about it this weekend. I need to be able to trust them to grow up into responsible adults.
Yes.
And even these friends of mine that I talked about, I've learned a lot from them in the last few days, where I just feel like I also need, they've opened enough about, their own vulnerabilities, where they said, hey Ray, look, when we first came to the country, we wanted to have people like us in our lives. And I feel like I've completely overlooked that power of authenticity in the moment, to say the universe is watching, right? And just hearing their own story helped me to also identify and recognize that, okay, I thought I had it better. There are people that have had it worse, but at the same time, they had it worse for many, many years, but they also made a decision to say, if we're ever in a privileged position, we want to be able to know. And I realized that in saying that, that's actually probably driven the way I teach and the way I train. I train in such a way, I even made that part of my introduction 2 weeks ago. When I told my students I was teaching first aid, I said, it seems as if the way I teach standing up here as your instructor, but I'm also sitting down in the chair to say, if I was a learner, what do I want to be hearing? Right? What do I want to be hearing from an instructor for this course to be purposeful and meaningful? Why do I want to leave the day knowing about first aid? I said, so for that, it's now driven me to become this dynamic trainer that I've become, but also realize that with this couple, which I love and respect, that they obviously saw themselves in a few years down the line being in this privileged position, not privileged, but better off position. To say, we were struggling, we slept on the floor, we got evicted a few times. If you were to see their lives now, you would never think that. But I realize that it takes a point where they're now in this position, but they also see themselves with position of nothingness. We've taken many vacations together. They've paid for us, they've paid for gas, and in the time. So maybe there's also this element that's just dropped to my mind, where you feel like, if somebody's giving, you almost, how can I process that it's okay to receive?
Can I tap?
Yeah.
Just
it's okay to receive kindness, right? Because at times I'm thinking, receiving kindness does not necessarily mean that you need to give in equal measure. That's what I've struggled with, right? To say, if you give me coffee, it's okay if I give you a glass of water. I don't have to match. Give you a coffee,
or just a smile.
There you go. So so there's those elements that I've also thought, because I've also said, hey, I've had conversations. You've paid and you've done this, I've needed you and you guys have showed up, but I don't feel like I've done anything back. And the words were, but we don't need anything back.
I might even suggest just that if nobody were to if nobody allowed themselves to receive, then nobody could give. So by allowing this reception, it allows them the gift of giving. Doesn't it feel better like when you give your kids a gift? It feels better. You're like you're more excited about giving them. They open it like, oh my God, thank you, right? Yeah. It feels better to so maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's a necessary part of the equation to have to allow yourself to receive so that somebody else can give.
Yeah.
I'm also seeing you, if I can share too, I feel like they're an excellent example of how you will see yourself down the line too. Yes. And I think that, we often go back in the past and help your past self, but actually the future self, like you have to grow into that. So can we be authentic right now on the way to being authentic then too?
That's good.
Can we do all that together?
Yeah, we can.
All that. Oh yeah. Okay, deep breath. Getting another one here for you.
Yeah.
Your friends have this story about how they slept on the couches and like on the floors and stuff, and like that was their journey. And then so this is going to be part of your journey.
Yeah.
Right. Like when I received this help and I was car broke down and this happened and then this happened and it's all part of your journey, and then you're going to get to share that with somebody else down the line.
Yeah. That's good.
And help them with the ability to receive.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Deep breath. How's all that feeling?
Yeah, feels all the way through. I love it.
Good.
It's okay to receive. Yeah,
it's okay to receive.
It's okay to receive. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
A lot of the relationships that I've had that have broken down, it seems they always break down at the moment where I just think, okay, if I commit to this, will it mean you will then control me in the future? Or there's that element that just resonated with me.
Okay.
But I don't know whether it's related to anything attachment, or how do you move from an insecure attachment to a secure attachment? But as I listened, there were elements where I just thought a lot of which again goes back to the authenticity, to say when relationships are broken down, or if somebody comes close, it seems as if there's a way that I just, the relationships, even with this friend of ours, there's an element of me that recognizes that somehow if they were not determined to help me and show up time and time again, because it's something that they feel all the way through for them, that they feel connected to my family, my kids, and they've just absolutely made a conscious decision that this family, they're worth investing in. Their words were, with limited resources, you've been able to achieve so much. But I feel like at times when I crash and have my low moments, it's almost like it's very easy for me to just say, no, leave me alone, woe is me, and, I'm probably not good enough to help. But at the same time, they keep on showing up. But there are other relationships that, when I've done that, they've not been able to come back. And I've known about it, but I've probably not always had the courage to step up and recognize that. So I don't know whether this is something that's happened in the past, or
it's okay.
I find myself just thinking, why is it like it? Because I can almost authentically, in the moment, in the last 3 days, I've thought of at least, I've come to this conclusion I've just shared with you, to say, the common denominator with this family is they're unrelenting. I don't know whatever I've done to impact their lives, but they're unrelenting and they keep on showing up.
Okay.
But I've also realized that over the years, when either from my part or if it's somebody else's part, when things happen, I'm okay to just shut down the conversation and say, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Does it feel like a little bit extreme, like in some scenarios where it doesn't friends here, kind of like social circles here, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Like if somebody kind of screws up a little bit or thinks, it comes to the wrong conclusion about you, rather than trying to like repair the relationship, and you're going to avoid them.
I can easily put,
What would be what are you risking if you were to say like, hey John, like I feel like there might be a misunderstanding here. Can I talk to you about that? And what could be at risk here for you?
That's a very good question. I think as we were talking, something was at the back of my mind. I think the risk is, further tension, to just say it's almost like I'm not good enough. It's almost like it becomes what if what I'm presuming about what's happening, or if I was to say, hey John, look, you might have said this, this, and this. That's not true. But what if they then rebuttal that, and
the conflict part.
The conflict becomes bigger than what it is.
Okay.
It's similar. I physically hate confrontation.
Yeah.
So this is why. This is why when I was listening to this clip, I don't know if it makes sense, but I want to say to you the way I feel it. I feel like it physically is painful. I would do anything to avoid a conflict.
Okay.
Because I just feel like, again, it's almost like this shame that comes at the top end of things, but I would do anything to avoid, which is when I had this term avoidant, I was like,
so it'll get worse, right?
Yeah.
If I smile a little, I'm smiling because the sun's literally in my eyes, so I'm like blinded over here. My glasses might turn into sunglasses, so I won't be too cool for school. Okay, so let's just zero in on that conflict. So conflict, even with like a social person that's like a fairly close to you, the conflict will just escalate and escalate.
Yeah.
What does that mean about you? If it what are you afraid of happening if it were to escalate?
That I would just probably freeze and not have anything to say. Like,
okay.
And this is where it I feel like I've always struggled to deal, and not that I need to also deal with that, but it's even worse if I see somebody who has this macho mess.
Okay.
Where if they were like to suddenly turn and just say, but why did you do that? Right? I feel like when that happens,
great.
I feel like I'm being attacked.
Okay.
Whereas if I was to sit myself on this chair here, in my head, I feel like I need to say, but I don't like the way you speak to me. Like, why even to raise your voice? Like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Right? That's not okay. What makes you okay that you can talk to me like that? I feel like I need to have this, that's a good word, boundaries of my own.
Yeah.
That can't be crossed. Say, it's okay if you're talking to, even if I've done wrong. If, let's say I'm in the wrong, I feel like there's many times where I have not been able to speak back when I could have.
Beautiful.
And it would have stopped me this overwhelming feeling. I just think, hey, hang on a minute. I think the tone that it's almost like me saying it. I can think of a gazillion examples where I feel like I should just say, I don't like the way you speak to me because of the way it's making me feel.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I'll probably just almost like lay back and take it. But then when I'm on my own, I am bubbling
so angry
with so much anger. Just think, why did I stand there and take it? Why did I say something in the moment?
So what does that mean about you then? So what does it mean about you when it makes you want to do this? When you just are like that? That's the freeze, like paralysis, collapse. You know, you're way up in the red zone. What does that mean about you when that's happening? I'm not.
I can't say no so much I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
But I don't know what within the right statement to bring out, because it's not like, I mean, I'm already there, but what's the word I'm looking for? I suppose I'm not good enough to bring a point across.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's maybe my comment might not be good enough if it lands. So to say it, I'm just thinking, what if I say something, then it falls on the, right? It doesn't land. It's like falls in front of me. Then what, right?
Okay. Really not good enough.
Yeah, really not good enough. Just thinking. But again, I've often seen that it comes from. There's only two standpoints. It's either somebody who's very strong, who comes across masculine and is able to just probably have their words, lined up, and they probably are very self-aware of who they are, and maybe their boundaries are way up, right? And they just know that, okay, my value system is you cannot cross that. Anybody crosses that, they're just going to have a piece of my mind, right? Not that I desire that.
Yeah.
But anytime that has happened, I'm just thinking, in my head, it's almost like thinking, that's not very nice. That's not the way to speak to people, but I don't have the tools to challenge you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you notice those emotions? What goes with that?
It's almost like I need a cards of emotion where I'll be able to choose. But the
like fear.
Fear is definitely. I was thinking I probably used fear a lot, but but fear is definitely one.
Is it activating that shame response too, right? That like humiliation sort of response.
Yeah.
Well, 0 to 10. What's the negative charge on that? I'm not good enough. What if I say something doesn't land? Not good enough to have my boundaries.
I'm gonna put that at 10 because I really want to know.
Does it feel like a 10 in your body?
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you feel it?
Yeah. Yeah, I just probably feel it all over there. Yeah, this one is pretty strong, Robert.
Yeah. So, antidote in that moment.
Yeah.
You like to believe that I'm good enough regardless?
Yeah. In the moment, I want to. It's just that I want to believe that I'm good enough regardless. But again, it's almost I don't know how to come back. Like words fail me. It's almost like
Yes. So how true does I'm good enough regardless feel when you think about that? 1 is false, 7's true.
So true.
Here, but here.
Yeah.
Where
true here, but
how true does it feel here in your heart? 1 is false, 7's true.
7 is true.
Okay.
But here, it seems as if I'm coming up with some conflict. There's a conflict somewhere.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
There's a conflict somewhere. It's almost like, if I don't have my words organized enough, I can clearly tell, and I don't like the way you're speaking to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I just don't have
the information.
Okay. And part of it, when I was thinking about it, I think I was raised in And I've had to stop myself doing this to my kids too, to say almost like, you're not allowed to answer back.
Yes. Okay.
There was that element
Okay.
where I've had to stop myself and just thinking, my child, especially my son, in this moment where we've got this relationship mending process, where I've now given him the ticket and the allowance to say whatever you want to say. There's not going to be judgments from me. Like, just say it. So whatever it is you want to say, just bring it on. Right?
Amazing.
And because I've allowed him to do that, it's almost like it's okay for him to say, but Dad, you've annoyed me there. Like, I don't like it when you do this. And just giving him that ability to do that, knowing that he can't, certainly. And I really realized that, to be honest with my wife, and I said, it seems as if we need to recognize that parenting at this particular point is now a lot different to what
100%.
How we were raised.
Yes, very different.
And just that realization alone is one that just now forced me to now want to dig deep into this, to say, what exactly is it? Because it seems as if a parent was to say, why are you not finishing your food on your plate? To say, I don't want to eat, is considered highly rude. Like, you can't say that. Right? You can't say that.
Yes.
But we're now in a situation where, no, kids do have, they're okay. It's okay for them to say that.
Can we notice just for a second, just notice how you've given your kids the freedom to set their own boundaries, and how that's, you're already changing that generational pattern?
Yes.
So just notice that.
Okay.
Okay, deep breath. And now think about what we're going to work on. So let's process this, like setting boundaries in that like highly charged conflict scenario.
Yeah.
Okay, so just pull that up. Notice that, like you said, it was about a 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go with that. That's it. Deep breath. Okay, what comes up now?
I'm thinking, it's almost like I need to put it into practice. We're back again to, what's the worst that could happen? If you say something back, I don't have to raise my voice to match theirs. Yes. But what's going to happen if somebody speaks to me in a way that I find disrespectful?
Okay.
I feel like I just need to say, I don't like the tone of your, I don't like the way you're speaking to me right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go through, just imagine that.
Yeah.
Deep breath. What do you notice now?
Yeah, say it.
Cool.
Say it.
Yeah.
If when that, I want to really, when that happens, I just want to say it. Because I find that at most times I oftentimes want things to be balanced.
Mm-hmm.
The moment I either see somebody else being treated unfairly, or I am being treated unfairly, or there are two parties outside of me that are not treating each other fairly, it really bothers me.
Yep.
It really bothers me.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm not so much into horoscopes, but again, I've read, I'm Libra by nature, so it seems as if anytime I'm not balanced, I feel like it could be all over the shop. So I just feel like I've been blessed with not being a bad judge of character. So anytime when things get to me, I think I need to trust myself, Robert, to say something at least in the program. If it's wrong, then it can be rebutted in the moment.
Yes.
But I think it's almost like things come to the things come and say something.
Yeah.
But the moment I don't say something, it's almost like it becomes an internal conflict for me to say,
Yes.
why did you say something there? Why did you...
Can I give you a tool in that moment? Would that be okay?
Yeah, sure. I would welcome
So, first of all, when you notice something inside that, probably an anger would be the likely one that you'd feel, that would be a great indication that a boundary is being crossed. If the intensity of the situation is really high,
and I really like that a boundary has been crossed.
Boundary's been crossed.
That's a it feels all the way true right now.
Okay.
A boundary has been crossed because most of the time there's that tends to be the moment.
Correct. Just notice that part for now. Just notice that. So that feeling is an indication, that's your warning signal that a boundary has been crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, deep breath. I could show you the 20 basic personal rights, and you'd see that there's a whole bunch of them on there that are being crossed. And maybe I can even do that now, so you can see. Slow sometimes. Okay. So, can you read that?
Yes.
Okay. So one of those, or many of those, are being crossed in the moment.
Do you want me to read them out now?
No, don't have to. Just sort of notice the ones that kind of stand out to you.
I feel like I know you've said that I need to print this today.
I'll email it to you, and you can have it again.
I think you have email. Have you?
I'll re-email it so it's at the top of your inbox.
I think I'm going to print this because a lot of these feels all the way through.
It was like that for me as well.
Really?
When I found this about 5 or 6, maybe 10 years ago now. But I remember at that time I was like, I'm not doing any of these things.
I have the right to say no.
Yeah.
I have the right to make mistakes. I have the right to be treated with dignity and respect. I have the right to change my mind and decide on a different course of action. Yes. I have a right to protest unfair treatment and criticism. I have the right to be angry at someone I love. That's a subject of conflict right there. Just thinking, because I love you, we could talk about non-abusive environment. Yeah. 4 years of my life I wasted time just with toxicity. I have a right to ask for help and emotional support. Hey, here we are.
Yeah.
I have a right to own my own needs and personal space and time, even if others would prefer. That's so good. I have the right not to justify myself. Yeah, this one is a point of contention in my marriage because my wife has had to teach me, say, hey, no is a full sentence. But I'm going to say a statement that I don't know what you're going to do with it, but I always feel like if I say no, I have to give a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know why, but whereas at times I feel like, my wife will probably say, hey, Zoe, are you home? Yes. Can I come and drop my child? Or I need a favor or can we visit this, like we've just moved, right? And somebody says, hey, can we come to your house after church on Sunday? She says, no, I'm busy. For me, it's almost like, go on. Like, are you not going to tell them what we're doing?
Yes.
No. And I'm thinking,
so uncomfortable. Yes, good. Okay, let me grab this for a second. Just notice how uncomfortable that feeling is in there. Just go with that. Deep breath. What do you get now?
It's almost I want to smile about it.
Cool. Okay. Okay. So a couple of things. I think we'll craft how to set some of these boundaries with words.
Yeah.
But I also want to give you something that you can do without words, because I think that's a challenge sometimes when because sometimes you can be so taken aback by somebody that you don't, you're like, you could, I think we're humans, and so we can always be a little bit overwhelmed at a moment. And, whoa, what's going on here? And I think that depending, situationally dependent. If it'll make sense for you, but I want to give you some right brain tools. The left brain might not come online if you're very overwhelmed, because it's left brain. It requires prefrontal cortex. You have to think about it. What we actually want to think is, if I give you a right brain action behavior to do, that can slow things down so that you can then have some space that you can then think, calm down, and then respond. Okay, so there's some really easy ones, and I think think about body language. If I were to do this to you, this probably doesn't feel very good. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
If I do that, that's a conflict, right?
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, hey, it's even though you're saying stop,
Yeah.
it's too much. But if you go, hey, whoa, almost like you're shoeing a horse, like whoa,
calming it down,
and your voice, whoa, you gotta go down.
Yeah.
That will usually allow that other person, or encourage that other person with their mirror neurons, to sort of calm down a little bit. Other thing too is your body posture, right? Like if you sit straight on, that can be a conflict. But if you're off and you're a little bit off to the side, you also did this, which I thought was great in one sense, because I think you were probably overwhelmed when you did that, and so that didn't feel good. But this posture, if you're grounded and you intentionally sit back and you relax and you get cozy, right, and you slow your responses down like that, it's creating a different dynamic in the moment, so that it's not a confrontation. You're taking a step back, and I think this one, like just that, I find, because most people know what this means. The timeout, right?
Yeah.
Right, timeout. Hang on.
Yeah.
Right. And if that person if they're like in a good relationship with you in any regard, they have to respond to that stuff, right? Like if there's some aggressive person on the street or something like that, well, the answer is call 911 at that point, right? Because they're dangerous, maybe, right? But for 99% of the time, I think how does that sit with you, with those right brain just actions?
I think it fits really well in that I feel like I need to be able, because I can tell you, as you can imagine, I believe you know me well enough now to say, I can tell you 99.9% of the times I probably got a myriad of things coming out of my head right now, just to think. Even at times, if I just say ho, and the thing is, I've seen it happen. I've seen other people do it.
Yes.
And I've worked in upper management, middle management most of my career.
Yes.
And I've seen subordinates that even as a leader, you will not dare speak to them any other way. And I've seen other people, not so much put other people in their place, but you just know that their boundaries.
Yes.
This person works 4 days a week. Do not even if you are short-staffed to your umpteenth, don't even bother calling John. John will tell you like it is, I'm sorry, I'm off. I'm not doing an extra work. Right? Just thinking.
Yes.
I have to respect that.
Okay.
And that is so good, because this person is in control of his environment, right? Whereas I've got my boundaries being constantly, and there's these elements now where in my previous employment, where now that I started working in the office, I see how other instructors are being manipulated into doing, you call somebody and say, hey, can you do this shift? They say, no, they can't. Oh, no, call them back and offer them an extra $50. Do you want to do it? I'm thinking, but they've said they can't. Why are we having to violate?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then before you know, you now become part of this culture, and you now start to have your own manipulative tendencies, where if somebody says no, you want to find a way to circumvent.
But what if I said this? What if I throw in that?
Exactly. What if I throw in that? And I've realized that the amount of times I've also changed my decision when I was on the other end of the phone. Yeah. But I just need to be able to say. So, for example, yesterday, the text message, can you do this shift on the 4th of December?
Yeah.
My old self would have just gone, sure. But I was like, no, that's too far ahead. I need to be very in contact with my calendar and, to know what I'm doing. So please contact me around the 15th or the 20th.
Nice.
To now decide about the 4th.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Just look at that. You did it.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, deep breath. What comes up now if I have you think about setting boundaries during a conflict?
Yeah. So first of all, there's no negative charge. That's
Okay.
good. But I just feel like, again, I need to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever that next opportunity feels like, at this moment, it feels all the way true that I can do it.
Nice.
But it's almost like in the moment when that happens, whenever, today, tomorrow, I feel like I need to seize that. I've just given you an opportunity,
sure.
I've just given a quick example which came to mind after we processed this.
Yeah.
In this moment, I just, like I said, that example that I've given you, that I've worked with people that are very strong-willed, where they will not budge.
Yeah.
They will not budge. Or I've also seen people who would take managers to task. To sort of like, no, I don't like the way you said it there. You said this, this, and this, and I do not like that.
Yes. Yeah.
In my head, just witnessing that, I'm thinking, I like that, but how did you do that?
Yes.
Because it just feels like you are you can tell this is where we started today, right? Where I just desire that, to just know that, okay, somebody said, hey, if you want to please everybody, go sell ice cream. Right?
Yeah. So in regards to conflict, there's two extremes, right? One is really passive and one's really aggressive. And I like right in the middle that assertive. Right? I think that it's different. Like that example that you gave, although the boundary was strong, right, and firm, it also felt like a big conflict. I always tell people that the first thing out of your mouth when there's a conflict is validation.
Right.
First thing, validation. Okay. So when you think about that scenario, hey, Ray, can you work like on the 5th or the 4th or whatever? And what can you validate out of that? Before you respond yes or no, what do you want to validate?
Thank you for asking. First. Yeah. I'm glad that you asked.
Yeah, okay.
However,
just like, thank you for asking. Thank you for thinking about me. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
However,
I feel it's too way ahead. I haven't planned my calendar as far as then, so maybe contact me around the between 15th and 20th. I should know better what my next month is going to look like.
Yeah, okay, deep breath. I think that fits because you don't actually know if you want to do that day or not, right? But if it was, let's say it's on your kid's birthday, you know you're not working on that day, or it's your kid's birthday, right? So how do you respond to that? Thank you for thinking about me. And then what do you say?
I've got something else in mind that's coming. Actually, that day is my kid's birthday, so I'd already set time aside, and that I didn't want to work that day. I've already got plans made. They're not yet in concrete, but again, I feel like I'm over-explaining. But there's already plans, probably mindful plans for us to do that day already.
Okay. Deep breath. And what about thank you for thinking about me? Unfortunately, that day doesn't work with my calendar.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. And
period.
Good.
And they don't need to know why or what you're doing.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Maybe it's like your best friend, though. You're like, hey, Ray, like, why are you not coming? Well, maybe then, maybe explain that. But for most other people, that doesn't work for my calendar.
Yeah.
Okay, deep breath.
That's good. Okay. Yeah, thank you for asking. That's a good, I like that.
Okay. Now, what about somebody that's really Like, this person doesn't sound like they're not in the yellow, red zone, or yellow zone, right? They're not fighting, or right? But what if somebody is really hot, really angry, really in your face, kind of, and you don't like the way that they're talking to you, but they're somebody that you care about, right? Because if it's just some random person, who's just like, I'm going to walk away and call the cops, because it's not important, right? Safety is important, but but if it's a good friend of yours and you're like, I don't like how you're speaking to me, how can you, with that, I'm good enough regardless, I can do this, how would you first validate that? They're angry, they're yelling at you, they're maybe they're, I don't know, calling you a name or something. Let's be kind of, make it kind of, not nice. What can you validate there?
You look like you're upset about something.
Yeah,
right?
Great. Yeah, exactly. Deep breath. How do you feel about the relationship with your son? Like, what do you want long term with him? Like, what do you want? Like, how do you want the relationship to be?
Cordial, positive, transparent. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That stuff, right? So he's just in the back of, like, logically speaking, if they feel comfortable enough to say all these things to you, then they must feel to some degree safe in the relationship to say those things, which is just a sort of a side note. Okay, but I think if you validate, like, whoa, I can tell you're really angry about something. I love you. Yeah. That's a validation, right? Especially if you obviously love your kids. Yeah. I love you, and I want us to have this open, transparent relationship where we can talk about how we're feeling. Yeah. All good stuff, right? Now here comes the boundary. But what I don't like is the way you're speaking to me right now. I love you, don't love the behavior. Oof. Okay? Yep. So that's the limit now. Yeah. The boundary comes with the consequence. So what's the consequence if he continues to talk to you that way? What would you do next?
So I don't like the way you're coming across right now. I love you. I don't like the way you're coming across right now. It's coming across disrespectful. If you carry on doing that, I might need to further increase the consequence that we'd already talked about earlier on.
Okay, you already have a consequence that you've given him already? Yeah. Okay, so then that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Then it's just going to have to go to the next step. Before you say, like everything you said, except just tweak, it's coming across as, what did you say? It's coming across as...
it's coming across as disrespectful.
Disrespectful, which is a great word. Most people understand that. Some people might be triggered by that one. But regardless, if you say the words, I'm feeling disrespected, that's a completely different story. Okay. That's because if you say that's disrespectful, to them it might not be. Okay. Well, this is how we talk in my family.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? I don't get, and there's another conflict. So you say, I'm feeling. So the way you're speaking, I'm not liking the tone. For me, it's coming across as I'm feeling disrespected. Wow. And powerful. If you continue talking that way to me right now, then I'm going to have to increase earlier punishment, or in other ways, or it's going to end up, I'm just going to kind of distance myself from you. Yeah. Like different people in the world, right? People, like I'm just probably not going to come around as much because I don't like that. That's good. Yeah. Right? Does that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
Yeah. And then just ask, is that something that you can do for us?
Wow.
Can you do that for us? Yeah. Can we change the tone for us? Because I love you, man.
That's good.
Right? Something like that. In your own words, but
yeah, I can see that.
Deep breath.
That's good,
How's that feeling?
Feels really, really good. like
Remember that you always have time. You know, whenever there's a conflict, what happens is our adrenaline pumps and our cortisol goes, you know, wild, and we're ready for a fight, right? Fight or flight. We're in that yellow zone. So it's very normal for us to go faster.
Okay.
But if you consciously slow it down, really slow, and you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I can tell you really, like, you're pausing, gives you some time to regulate a little bit, and then you can share those boundaries, right? Because I think in those moments, like, if they're not going to give you any time to talk whatsoever, like, I'm questioning how the relationship's going, right? I think most people are going to go, okay, right?
Yeah.
Responding a little bit.
Yeah.
So how's that feel? Think about setting boundaries in relation
really
conflicts.
Good. Yeah, that's really good. I like, you know, slowing down first, validate, then that's where the boundary will come in, then the expectation after that.
Yes.
That's really good.
Yes. Boundaries always have to have consequences. Otherwise, it's a limit. So very different things. A limit is, this is my limit, you're crossing my limit, okay, which is good information. But what happens when you cross my limit? The thing that we have to do as the person whose limit's being crossed, if we set a boundary, we have to enforce it. That's the key. Otherwise, nobody will respect them ever. Right? Doesn't mean like we have to end the relationship kind of thing, but
sounds like a statement that's coming out. One key to limit setting is it's got to be enforceable.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Follow it through.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. I'm gonna tap on your knees. Just notice that.
It needs to be enforceable. Yeah.
So the types of limits that you set, you know, again, they can vary, right?
Yeah.
Depending on the relationship, depending on the situation. It's not like, oh, you unloaded the dishwasher, we're getting a divorce. Like, that's not realistic, right? It's more like, but you know, maybe they ran over your cat or something like that on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of a friend are you? I wouldn't. Maybe that is, we're done, right? But if it's I also think about steps, right?
I feel so good about it.
I'm glad. I always think about like 3 strikes and you're out kind of thing, more or less, right? Like first strike is we're going to have a conversation, right? And maybe that's not even really a strike. It's we're at bat now. Yeah. This is a conflict. This is what's going on. This is what I need for us to move forward. Can you do that? More or less.
Because I love the way this is going, because again, for me, it's almost like it goes back to where I started.
Yes.
This is where I'm now actually to this. That's where the core of the issue lies, because again, I feel like I lack in my authenticity because I've lacked boundaries for so many times, right? Then the day that somebody comes and just walks over the limits that you do not follow through, then all of a sudden I'm just thinking, no, but that's crossing my limit, not my boundary, right?
Yes.
There's no I'd never given you a consequence, right? Before. And for me, I feel I feel it's all adding up in this moment, because again, I'm just trying to think where I feel that I can't go war is because a lot of these, especially with subsisting relationships that I have, I feel like I lack authenticity because people are probably treating me the way that I've treated, because my boundary apparently or seemingly appears that wide. Yeah. So hey, everybody can fit between here and there, but if I was here, it's easy to manage, because if you're going to come through here, you're in my sphere of vision. Yeah. I'm going to see you coming this. I'm just thinking, whoa. But if it's like this, if there happens to be 4 people that are coming, but if it's like this, if there are 4, all of you would need to come and fit in this boundary. You're in my sphere of influence. I can see you. Oh, yes, no. right?
Yes.
3 situations, yes, yes, no, because they're all here. I can all see it. Say, where does that fit within my value system? Is this a breach of my boundary or not? No? Okay, sure. Coming in, yes, I'll do that. No, I can't do that. Right? So it's really, really important. Yeah, this one.
Good.
This one is good.
Just notice all of that and hold it together.
Good, yeah.
I'm good enough regardless. I can set those boundaries. I'm allowed and deserve to have those limits and boundaries. That's it. Okay, deep breath. Well, have you think about setting boundaries during a conflict? Any negative charge with "I'm not good enough"?
No charge.
I'm good enough regardless.
Yeah.
Capable.
Yeah.
Right.
Capable,
yeah. Hold that together. Absolutely. Okay. Deep breath. How true does that feel? I'm capable, good enough regardless. 1's false, 7's true.
Yeah, 7.
Close your eyes, scan your body head to toe, see if there's any negative charge anywhere in there, if it feels clear.
No.
Good?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Fantastic.
Yeah, because I didn't even think I'd. There's this friend of ours in the previous neighborhood who they heard that we moved, but it's not like they'll visit our old place a lot, and then we're texting back and forth, and and he was really insisting to say, "What's your address? I need to bring your kids' chocolate. What's your address?" But in my heart, I was thinking, I don't want you. Like, I want to protect this space, this new space that I have. I want to protect it. I want to only invite people that I want to be in the space right now. We are a family in transition. Because it was one of those where you called, "Oh, I heard that you moved. Where do you live?" I said, "In the area." That's where we are. In there, just a couple of blocks away.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your address? I want to bring the kids chocolate. And that really just, I'm thinking, do you think I'm stupid or something? Like, no. I'm not home right now. There it is. It was not true. I'm thinking, I'm now in conflict. I'm just thinking, why do you, I feel like you want to just come and check my new place out. You're really false. It's unauthentic. And I said, I'm not home right now. How about I will come with the kids later and we'll pick it up from yours. But again, this is exactly what I mean. Already, I don't like, that's a typical example I'm just giving. I don't like where I'm at already.
Yeah.
So those are some of the little things.
So let's imagine that. So let's, how would you, if you go back in time and redo that scenario?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So what would you validate first?
Also, thank you that you got the chocolate for the kids. Okay.
Very sweet of you. Thank you.
Very sweet of you. Very sweet of you. Yeah. However.
Okay.
However, I'm really busy right now. I'm not.
So just to be clear, this is not a relationship you want to maintain any further, correct?
No.
This was like you live close by, so you're cordial with each other, but you don't want a relationship with this person for whatever reason. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think for me also what I had picked up already was the start of the conversation. The excitement was like, if I didn't tell you that I was moving, that chances are you're not within my speed. That's point number 1.
Those are some subtle things that people don't pick up on sometimes.
If I've not told you that I moved, but then if you then call me with excitement and say, "Oh wow, I heard that you moved."
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I did. So at that particular point already, I just felt like given what we've done to them, just thinking already you're crossing in my boundary already.
Right. So you notice that you feel the limit's been crossed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we need to set a boundary here with this person, and we need to let them down. Let me ask you another question here.
Okay.
How disturbing is it to disappoint other people? Because you're gonna, theoretically here, not everybody's gonna like your boundaries, and you're gonna lose some people. But the ones that are like relationships you don't really care about very much, right? It's not a biggie, right? So we got to make this person, if you make this person angry and pissed off, 0 to 10, what's the disturbance level on that for you right now?
10.
Okay, just notice that. Okay, deep breath. So, pissing somebody off, disappointing somebody, 0 to 10, what's the disturbance on that right now?
It's high. It's probably we've just opened up another can there, right there, yeah.
0 to 10, where you think you're like making this person angry. 0 to 10, where what's it at now?
10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to feel that 10.
Yeah.
Can you feel it in your body?
Yeah.
Connected with it? You got
Yeah,
it?
it's almost like it's making me feel,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I want you to think about that 10, feel it in your body, and I'm going to distract you from that 10, okay? So you just see who wins.
Okay.
Okay. Can you spell the word disappointment, but do it backwards? Hang on to the 10.
T
R, F,
N
Q. There's a U in there.
Yeah. No.
X.
Yeah.
C. 25. Okay, deep breath. Told you I would win. I'm very good at this game. Okay, so you think about pissing somebody off, making them angry, disappointing them, 0 to 10. What's the disturbance level right now?
5.
5. Okay, hang on to the 5 now. Notice what that is. Can you feel that in your body? You got it?
Yeah.
Okay. 5 times 5.
25.
Times 5.
125.
Wow, good job. Divide that by 2.
70.
Well done. I don't know.
Yeah.
Great job. Deep breath. Okay, disappointing, pissing somebody off, 0 to 10. How disturbing is that right now?
It's down. It feels like it's a glass that's just shut.
Are we at a 0?
We're at a 0.
At a 0. Okay.
Yeah.
So back to this person now.
I know for a fact you just don't want to bring the chocolates. You probably want to come and see what does the new space look like, because I've already know that this is what you are with. The first time you came to my place, you're like, wow, you guys have a good place. How much do you guys pay here? So I already know that you dig.
It doesn't feel like it's a vibe, right?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's we have an authentic relationship. So it's almost like, in one sense, I'm not saying I don't ever want to talk to you, but I just want to find how do I set such a boundary without a mistruth or having to look for a reason. So this is why I always have to look for a reason. I don't want to look for a reason. I want to say for what it is.
Yeah.
That so it's like, without being rude, but this is me already just thinking maybe I don't want to come across as rude.
Yep.
But the fact is, I want to build myself towards that authenticity, just to know that I want to be very clear cut.
So can I suggest then something?
Yeah.
You might even get away with actually being very, very authentic and very truthful and saying to this person, you're going to let them down, right? Yeah. So when you tell somebody that ahead of time that, you know what, thank you very much for the chocolates, it's a very kind gesture of you, and you might not like this, right? Now they're getting ready and they're prepared. You might not like what I'm about to say, but and then make sure this is truthful, right? That right now we're not in a place where we want to, continue a lot of relationships. I just don't feel like we're a fit with each other. Okay. I think that maybe if it feels true that you think they're a nice person.
Yeah.
Right? If you think they're like the devil or something, a different story. Okay. But you're a good person. It's just I don't think it's a fit for us right now. That's a much clearer boundary.
Yeah, here's one.
Okay.
I probably have some contacts or friend or two who probably finds it okay to call me and they start discussing somebody else's business.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, my
So
favorite.
it's almost
Okay.
So it's almost like I most of the time I become a dumping ground. To say the moment I see that phone number calling, I'm just thinking, yeah, I can almost like play you the outcome of it. It's gonna be a cheap talk. How you been? So what have you been up to? You know, how's work? How's the? So you're never gonna believe. Have you heard? Right.
Yeah.
Then you go
Yes.
into
Yes.
thinking,
Yes. Okay. There's an evolutionary basis for gossip.
right. Okay.
So it's bonding. People bond over gossip.
Really?
Right? Think if you live in a small town, there's two mechanics, your car breaks down, you take one and the guy rips you off. And then you go over and you say, oh my gosh, don't go to this, you know, he's a rip-off artist.
Yeah.
And they just saved everybody like thousands of dollars. That's a good thing now, right? So gossip has a purpose. But this feels yucky.
It's almost like without telling, I want to make you realize that if you realize that anytime you call, you almost like have the latest buzz going on, and it's debilitating. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
It's debilitating. It's tiring. It's almost
Yes.
like, can we talk about something else?
Yes.
I don't, without being
Beautiful.
rude or anything. Or I don't mean to be rude, but I want to be able, Robert, to say that and feel that it's all the way true.
Yes.
Because at times that statement feels right
Yes.
to me,
Yes.
but I don't think I've ever had a chance to practice it. To
Yes.
say, Robert, I realized that, have you noticed?
Yeah.
So my body language is open. I'm
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, hey, have you noticed that? Have you noticed that anytime we speak, like, we're always talking about people and we're always running people down, and
Yeah.
I feel like it's not right.
Beautiful. So what you just did right there is you added the we
Yeah.
in there. So I'm picking up that. So you've engaged in this before in the past.
Yes.
So I
yes.
think that part's really
and it's formulated an identity, and I don't want that identity.
It's really important. I think that you acknowledge that you had taken part in that in the past, right? So you're acknowledging what the relationship has been and the pattern has been, and now you're changing. So people have to catch up to you on that.
Yes. That's
Okay.
right.
Also, there's a feedback potential. Like this person might not be ready for this. It doesn't know it. Right? We don't know how self-aware this person is. Just because they're working mental health doesn't mean that they're self-aware. Might be aware of other people, but sometimes we're blinded to ourselves. So if we can go to this person, hey, you know, Sally, you know, well, is it nice to see their name at all or no?
Right. Sorry?
Like when you see the call, is
Yeah.
it at all nice to see their name, or does it fill you with dread and anxiety?
So it's always good to see their name,
Okay.
right? But there are elements where they feel, if the elements where you just think, okay, I know what that call is about.
That part. So
Yeah.
the fact. So I just wanted to make sure it's all authentic,
Yeah.
right? So knowing that there is a relationship there, that if the behavior could change, you would be okay with the relationship,
yes.
right? That's what I'm. Okay.
Yes.
So
Or, sorry to drop,
okay.
because I feel like it's getting to very, very close. I've even felt like they're very good at calling me out,
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
right? Where
Yeah.
they've calling me out.
Okay.
And I've often felt that I've learned a lot from this person.
Yeah.
When it comes to authenticity and when it comes to wanting to change, they want to be that, like, hey, I want you to be my ride or die. But when they pick up a flaw in my life,
Yes.
it's like, I'm just gonna say it
Yeah.
for what it is. I'm just thinking, oh,
So that's something that I'm a little bit. It's a pet peeve of mine.
Okay.
People sometimes that feel they have the entitlement
Thank you.
to just say it like it is,
Yeah.
but that's not like it is. It's like how it is for them.
yeah,
Because how it is for somebody else could be very different, right? So, anyway. This is a tangent, but with this particular person, if you look at the phone and like, oh, it's Sally calling. Okay, if you answer, hey Sally, always, you know, it's always nice to see your name on my phone.
yeah.
Okay, because maybe that part's true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wonder would you be open to a little feedback right now? Okay, and that part is the consent part, right?
Yeah.
If she says no, then the conversation's over. Okay, well, unfortunately, it sounds like you don't want to talk, and I'm just going to have to hang up. Let me know when you're ready to talk. Bye. Click.
Yeah. Can I drop in something?
Yeah.
In my career as a manager, I've always found it difficult. This is so hard. I'm so glad we're doing this because a lot of things, I've always found it difficult giving negative feedback.
Yeah.
Right? To the point where I'm very good at identifying what's good in people, but I also see what's bad, but giving back that feedback,
Yeah.
I find it very difficult.
So what I would encourage you to think about it is not feedback. So maybe you're not criticizing them.
Yeah, but the
You're
behavior.
just no.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not, but you're helping people understand how you want to be treated in the future,
Yes,
which is a different thing. I think about. You're not criticizing or shaming them as a person.
Yeah.
You're indicating what you'd like different in the relationship.
That's good.
So if you can say like, "Hey, Sally, it's always nice to see your name. You know, it's nice to catch up. Just a sec. Do you feel like would you be open to some feedback about our relationship?"
That line, yeah.
And if it's a yes, it's probably going to be a yes, right? Okay, great. So I wanted to bring your attention to. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I'm going to bring my attention to some patterns in our relationship. I've noticed. That's now there's truth, right? She can't attack you on that. Nobody can. You've noticed it.
Yeah, I'm not.
I've noticed.
I've not heard about it. I've noticed
that in the past, and I'm totally guilty of this myself. You and I had been getting into conversations about people. We would be gossiping about people, and I think it probably gave us a lot of bonding moments, which is great. You see all the validation in all that so far?
Yeah.
And I wanted to let you know that that's no longer something that I'm going to be doing.
Yeah.
And since I value our relationship,
Ooh.
I'd like it if we don't do that together. I'm sure we have lots of other things that we can talk about. I'd love to talk about you and your life and me and my life, but if we end up going down the road of talking about other people's lives in a negative light, it's gonna do this.
Wow.
And I just can't be a part of that anymore. So is that something that you feel that you can do for us? And then that's a yes or no answer at the end of that.
Yeah.
Right? We hold that together. Does that feel right?
I mean, if we were to finish the session now, that's when I say authentic, that's what I mean, Robert.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, right? Everything you've just said there, that's what I mean. I'm craving for that, but it's almost like the way that I need to become one with that script, because that way it allows me to always be in touch with my core beliefs, but because it's very easy if you're this big extrovert, it's very easy. I need to almost slow myself down.
Yeah.
The way you've put that, it is so whole. That's exactly what I'm talking about when I'm saying I want to gravitate towards this, because if I'm like that, or if I build my core values around that, it allows me to be consistent.
Yeah. And
it allows you to then set boundaries, because people now know that you're not this dumping ground of garbage somewhat.
How's that kind of sound? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Just hold that together and just imagine it playing out. Deep breath. How's that feel?
Feels good.
Do you feel like you have some tools to go forward with that?
Yes.
I think it's big because I mean, nobody showed me that. I had learned this bits and pieces over time, and I'm not even perfect at this stuff that it's easier said than done. So just take that, and I give you full permission if it matters at all to you. I give you full permission to suck at this, and you know, not get it right, but like fumble through it. Yeah. And I think that it gives the other person also the permission to not have to be great at it. Yeah. Because you know, like this person's not going to change that behavior like that. Probably like. They'll try and they'll waver a little bit, but if you're consistent about, oh hey, Sally, once you have that first conversation, the second time that she brings this gossip thing up, then you can reference the conversation now. Hey Sally, love you. Do you remember the conversation that we had the other day about the gossip thing? Yeah. You're doing it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Or you can also ask permission to, is it okay if I give you some feedback? That's a good one. And therapists love that. So person is working in mental health and can I give you some feedback? Yes, please. Give it to me. Right? But then you can reference the conversation so it's like it's happened. I look at that as strike one now. Oops. Sorry. And then, you know, fix it, go on. It'll be a little wobbly and stuff, but like she's gonna grow and stuff. And then if it happens again, like, hey, I gotta tell you, like, conversation we had, remember the gossip thing? That could be enough to just change it for good at that point, right? Yeah. Darn, why do I do? And hopefully, I mean, it might inspire the other person to want to think, why do I gossip like that all the time? Maybe. Yeah. I think you've given the relationship the best chance of evolving. That's very good. Yeah, well, I really like that. It's, you know, there are some things that, you know, over the years you just, you know, end up just accepting because that's not really who you are. But you almost like give people that indication, and then people would happily, because you didn't place a boundary in the initial part of your relationship, a lot of those relationships is what I need to evaluate those and almost like come up with a script for each and be able to, you know, acknowledge, validate, and you know, boundary, then expectation for moving forward. That's a really powerful script that I'm hoping next time we can sit down, because it really achieves what I wanted to come out of this session today. I just encourage you that you don't have to be perfect at this. Like you can screw this stuff up, and you can almost always repair when you've breached a relationship, right? Like, you know what? That really didn't come out quite right. I'm sorry how I said that. What I really meant to say was this, right? Because if you jumble it because it's the first one or two or three or four of these that you do, and you're like, that didn't come out quite right, you're going to get it, I think, eventually, and then it's going to be, I think it gives other people the permission also that they don't have to be perfect, and they can jumble it and they can screw it up a little bit, and I just think that that's part of this. So. Yeah. Yeah. And also one last point for me is what I've also realized is even now this journey of allowing me to, I've actually, a lot of people will, I feel comfortable now, especially when they notice a positive change. I'm now okay to actually say, no, I'm seeing somebody and I'm talking about it. So it's quite interesting how that area is evolving, just to actually think, no, I'm in therapy, and I'm having to deal with it. And the 3 or 4 times I've said that, everybody has been almost like overwhelmed, say, wow, like I need it. Yes, good. And it's been so positively received. So wonderful. I wouldn't have thought, you know, therapy would have been a big word, right? A big word that I would not have, not so much accepted, but because you just don't know a lot. Yes. Everybody that I've told so far, they've welcomed it. They're like, good for you. We all need one. I said, I know, but this change that you're acknowledging, I want to just say, hey, I'm taking some steps towards becoming a whole authentic self. So wonderful. Yeah, good job. Thank you.